Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, all running to smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die, die, legends never die. They're written down in eternity, but you'll never see the price it costs. The scars collected all of their lives. When everything's lost, they pick up their hearts and avenge defeat. Before it all starts, they suffer through harm just to touch a dream. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never begging you to fight. Legends never die.
You join us here today.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, to Amateur Scouting Grounds. I'm joined by some. Oh good. I know you guys are excited, and we got some lovely talent for you to do some casting. Sun Praising and Arlen joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite all right. I just may have jumped the gun a bit there, honestly, because a lot of times before in my casting experience, the play-by-play has introduced things, so it's just sorry about that. But
All
yeah,
good,
you
all
know,
good. You
Sun
take on that.
Praising, that's
You take on the
Arlen.
host. Yeah, we got some lovely folks with us today, but three games you gonna be casting from these platinum players. Any teams that stand out? Any players that stand out to you before we head into draft for game number 1 here today?
So game number 1, I mean, it was a quick. We had a few quick change of
Just a
who's
little
actually
one.
broadcasting. Yeah, so I have like notes on all 3 games that I were originally going to be broadcasted written down. So maybe not quite so much just yet. I have had the honor of, I remember on the side of Dom's Disciples here in Game 1, I've casted Daydream, I believe, probably a few weeks ago in, shoot, I don't remember. I'd have to look back. So fairly all right. So, and I believe he performed well in his game. It was quite a while ago. I recognize a few of these names though from the amateur scene in my time casting.
Yeah,
but
Daydream is actually one of our casters here at Legends. So she's been great on casting and on the Rift as well too. But I believe our teams are ready to go with draft. So lovely casters, Sun Praising, Arlen, why don't you guys go ahead, take it away, give us a show, and we'll see you back here on the analyst desk after our first game of the day.
All right, I'll see you then. Yeah, I mean, just asking for a bit of a ready up yet. We're almost loaded in. Countdown not quite started yet, since we're a bit bit on the fly with the matches we're broadcasting.
And it looks like Daydream won't be playing today. It's going to be Dasic. I think that's how it's pronounced. Instead, they are going to sub in Daydream.
Oh,
yeah. Unfortunately, you don't get to see them again.
Well, unfortunate. But we will be starting in just a few seconds. They're still getting the draft all spectator links ready and organized so that all the players can see the draft as it happens. Player input for the side of these teams. Very, very common, especially for when it comes to comfort and in best of ones, which we have here in this group stage. Ireland, I think maybe we might be looking for a bit of comfort from these two teams.
Definitely. In tryouts and scouting grounds, when you're only allowed to showcase your best, you might as well put your best out. So we're looking for, like you said, a lot of comfort, a lot of accountability, because these players want to be playing their best. So they're pressuring their coaches to put them on their best champions, but they also have to showcase that they're able to play different styles to other coaches that may be looking into these scouting grounds, right? Like this, you have to show that you're able to be flexible and that you're coachable. So if they show a different look than their solo queue look, then that's going to be amazing for their coaches, right? They're going to love that. They're going to take note of that. And especially if they perform well on it, even if you don't perform well on it, however, you can still showcase something. But yeah, like you said, mostly looking at a lot of comfort for every single every person involved.
Well, I would hope they're not disembodied, but I think everybody's. I think everybody's still an apt term as we finally do get the draft started. We have it all organized. Everybody is in their places. To start out immediately, we're seeing a few bands. Shin coming through early on here. Arlen, let's take us away. Like what kind of focus we might be seeing from these two teams, if you have any insights on that.
Well, definitely, looking at these early bands, a Mordekaiser, a Shin, a Camille, and even Zinzao, like you're wanting to take away power from the top lane, wanting to take away accountability from the top lane, and with a blind pick Camille, one of the strongest top laners right now, according to many analysts, many tier lists, the strongest top laner right now, and taking away Shin as well, very safe counter pick, to a lot of champions, or a very safe blind pick, just taking away all these strong top side picks along with Zinzao. They want to focus the game more on the middle, more on the bot side of the map, and that's what they're going to do, picking up this Misfortune here. So I'm looking to combo it with an Amumu, with Maokai even. You've seen a lot of Maokais get picked up recently, several massive team fighting ultimates that just allow her to get her ultimate off with relative ease.
Yeah, and being able to layer CC is fairly important when it comes to playing Misfortune. But on the side of Froze Bros, we'll see both Nunu and Willump and Thresh coming through. I mean, a bit strange. Bit of a mouthful 3 times. But as you said, we do have the Leona Hover with looking from that Misfortune currently.
Yeah, Leona Misfortune, it's an interesting lane. It's a super strong lane, right? But it's one of those lanes that don't really start going crazy and kicking off until that level 6 point gets reached, and then it starts ramping up in pressure. So until level 6, we're not going to be seeing too much action in the bot lane unless Froze Bros decides to pick up something else that can push the action. They go for a more dominant lane style, lane bully style. but I don't expect that. Maybe Kaisa, she's an interesting pick right now. Not exactly the strongest ADC, but definitely, in the right hands, she can go crazy. And with already so much CC on the side of Froze Bros, it, it's something that can allow this Kaisa to go really crazy, just dashing all over the map, popping people left and right with her passive. But, they have Kindred to counteract that, so it's kind of a 50-50 so far either way in this draft, and it's really going to come down to these solo lane picks here.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much bot and jungle picked on both sides here currently. So as these early bans are suggesting, we're going to be focusing on more of the solo lane sorts of bans. Though a bit interesting with the LeBlanc and Akali on the side of Froze Rose, and while Dom's Disciples banning out Set and Kled. Maybe a bit of different focus from these two teams on where they want to put their focus into.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we're getting rid of Set and Kled. I think they're opting for a more, like, they're gonna blind top, right? Like, that's what they want to do, and that's why they banned Set and Kled. They definitely want to blind top, so they're looking to put maybe a Gangplank in there, a very safe blind pick, maybe a Cannon even, because they still are requiring that AP. Of course, they could always go into the mid lane, but Cannon, Gangplank are the ones I'm looking at here. And, Syndra, very good pick. I like it, especially into this Lux. It makes the Lux, it's hard for the Lux to play the lane into this Syndra, such a dominant lane champ who scales super well into the late game, right? So it really does boost the team comp here, and now you're definitely looking at that Gangplank here to really round out the comp and give it, some identity, some structure, some feel to here.
You're saying
Gank as always.
Sion's the one being hovered with just a few seconds remaining for Dom's Disciples to make their pick, and they will lock it in. So maybe a bit unexpected, maybe perhaps, as we mentioned earlier, a bit of comfort coming out from the side of Dom's Disciples. Perhaps.
Yeah. This is interesting. If they pick the Aurelia here, then they'll have a pretty snasty split push plus, team fighting comp on their hands. It's going to be real hard to beat out this Kaisa, Irelia, Lux in the late game. Even if you have, the Kindred on your side, right? Even if you have that Kindred heal into that Cinder stun and the big beefiness of Sion Leona and overall the Misfortune damage, it can be rough because Misfortune, is a relatively immobile ADC into Irelia, into Lux, into Kaisa, all jumping or throwing long range spells at her. It's going to get rough for this Misfortune here, but if she can outplay it, if she can really, position herself nicely in team fights, then I'm going to have to give the edge to Dom's Disciples here.
Yeah, and another thing you did mention a bit earlier, when it was locked in was on the side of Dom's Disciples with that Kindred Lamb's Respite. Fairly impactful ultimate. Definitely one of the ones that are notorious for keeping the enemy team alive as well on a few occasions. But
yeah.
but I mean, there aren't too many easy displacements, I would say, on the side of Bros. So I mean, perhaps that could give Dom's this Misfortune a bit of safety when casting that bullet time, perhaps. One thing to look out for, the extra peel with Kindred coming in.
Definitely, but one thing I'm just looking at is how they opt to use the new ultimate, right? If they use it too early, then they just pop the Land's Respite and it doesn't kill anyone. But if they use it right when it's timing, when the Land's Respite will end, if they pop it during the Land's Respite, you have to waste some CC to stop the channel, or else when it pops, everyone's gonna die regardless of like how long they were in Ram's Respite, right? So yeah. It's a rough one, and it's a problem that Dom's Disciples will have to tackle over the course of the game, where how they choose to go around this new pick, because it really throws a wrench in their plans if things go wrong.
And I believe on that note, we have covered all the bases for this game one coming into this, but I believe on that note, we'll send it to a break. So when we load in, we will present, we'll present game one to you. We'll see you on the other side of the spectator delay. we have loaded into game 1 here of Platinum Scouting Grounds between Dom's Disciples and Froze Bros Arlant. We are actually might be seeing a level 1 play coming out here on the side of Froze Bros.
Expected nothing but nothing more from the team who picked Nunu. Of course, if you got a Nunu, if you got a Thresh, invade to your heart's content, especially with a team that's as weak level 1 on the side of Dom's Disciples. Like, of course, it's going to be split out with good ward placement, and they're going to invade top side. So absolutely nothing to be found in the bot side for the side of Froze Bros. Although this Leona might get cut out.
They're still kind of hanging it around a bit dangerously, though starting to move out a bit now.
The ward, get out of
They'll be
there.
Fine. Yeah. There are no
I love it.
no scanner available on the side of Froze Bros either, so they won't be able to clear out that vision. And just a bit of a trade of vision on either side, I suppose.
Now, this is something that's super helpful when you're, tracking a Nunu, right? Getting this early vision, letting you know where he's going to be starting, whether it's top side or bot side, by the basis of whether or not you see him. It works out. It's going to be great for either team, so they know that each side they are going to match in terms of vision. So they're going to be meeting at this early scuttle at 3:15. So each side is going to be contesting their waves quite heavily, top and mid. Bot lane, not as much, because they don't have to worry about shoving or pushing, but they still want that level 2 early. So each side is going to be looking for that quite heavily.
Perhaps a bit of an early trade going over in favor of Dom's Disciples. You mentioned that early push could be very decisive in a potential scuttle fight coming in up in, well, probably a couple minutes now, but something before we get to that, since I doubt we will have any major fights, but I may be interrupted as I say that. No, we were alerted during the break that we just broke 2,100 followers on this stream. So shout out to that. Thank you everybody for tuning in and coming through with that. And got a moment to put that in as we're seeing this top lane. This rally hitting level 2 first. Par getting down to about a quarter health. Lance is
that's why you pick Irelia, right?
Yeah, especially early on, though, being into the bot lane, the Leona's hooked. Manazin has nowhere to go, getting low. And he should be going down in a second. He is chomped up by this Nunu. Almost made it out a bit closer than you probably would have expected given the situation. But straight up to the mid lane, these two going at it. But, they've got the corrupting potion both in their hands. So most likely be all right. But Arlen, I believe we'll have a few minutes. How does this, what does this mean for the state of the game coming up in a few moments? So actually then we just, I wanted to get to that, but we've got the biggest snowball ever landing there. And that'll be an easy follow-up for Ronxy to pick up the kill onto Glaive Master and
Kindred lost the RNG. It's super unfortunate. They have to show all these people outside, Kindred, Paka Paul just walking in, taking his red buff. And that's something they expected, right? They expected to sacrifice something for these two ganks. But I'm going to say, overall, these two ganks have gone, heavily in favor of Froze Bros. And they can do it again. They can just walk back mid again with this biggest snowball ever. And the Kindred...
They actually might be trying it. For only once, shame on you. Fool me twice. It just might be enough. Glaze Master flashes away. Ronxy getting low. Getting very, very low. Finally goes down to that auto attack from Paka Paul. Now ZFC getting down to about half health, though both mid jungle duo on the side of Dom's Disciples will decide to walk away from that one and take the victory where they can get it.
Absolutely. And it's just one of those things. You have to know what the Nunu wants to do. Like, the Nunu always just wants to gank, especially a solo queue Nunu coming into a competitive sense. The guy just wants to really get these ganks off, really get the ball going, really start snowballing his team, no pun intended. And
You'd quite say it's the biggest snowball for his team,
It was. But yeah, he wants to get his team snowballing, wants to get action going early in the game so they can start scaling
Oh,
quickly.
hold on.
As
It's
Manny
dive
goes-
in. Madison getting a bit dangerous. You can't quite dive that Thresh, sir. Gets hooked and flayed under the tower. And that's another kill going over to the side of Frozeboast, but straight up to the top lane. They just might be getting another victory in this 1v1. Berzalut getting par very low. Flashes in. Gets the auto attack. Gets the kill. Though standing very low himself. Gets chasing under the tower. Zombie Scion won't quite be fast enough. And that's 2 kills on either side of the map. Going over in the favor of Froze Bros.
Both of those plays, it's just a matter of respect. You didn't respect the Thresh until the on a matchup. You're not waiting until you're level 6 to really kick off what makes your bot lane strong. And topside, you're not respecting the fact that Irelia has, once she gets full stack, she's one of the hardest champions in the game to duel, right? Even Fiora can have a tough time dueling and Irelia if she misses her parry in any sense. If she misses the attack speed slow, it's game over. If she misses the stun, it's game over. Like, it's just one of those things that you have to be very wary of, especially on a tank with no real damage until you get 6 like Scion. All he had was the Bramble Vest. It's going to be rough from this point out for the side of Dom's Disciples, but once level 6 start coming online, they can change it around.
Looking out for these level 6s here. These ultimates coming through. Speaking of ultimates, Glazemaster in this mid lane on the side. Dom Disciples has his own now, but while up in this top lane, won't quite land that stun. Won't quite go in on that one for now.
Yeah, that's fine. And just, you're just looking at who do you want your early game gold to be on in transition to late game. Right now, he hasn't got any ganks, but I'm thinking, Irelia Nunu is still a really good pairing, right? It's the perfect combination of AP, AD, tankiness, non-tankiness, combat stats, and CC. Like, it's such a really good pairing to go for. And it's something that they should be leveraging, right? As soon as they get level 6, they should be really pressuring this Scion, really making him feel the heat.
I think this Scion is really feeling it right now. That wave is currently permanently frozen right next to it. There's nothing you can do currently. Para 04 is not having the most fun of experiences in the top lane right now. As we take a gander back up to this one, can't even step up to the wave, missing out on XP. It's not feeling good, especially with the jungler roaming down to the bot side. We have 3 in the area, so potentially a fight coming up in the next few seconds, Arlen. Actually, I will cut you off here. Biggest snowball ever might just find Packapal a bit unexpectedly. Yeah, not quite level 6. Dalkus will flash away, getting low. Ignite come through. Guardian keeps him alive for just a little bit longer. No, the Lamb's Respite doesn't keep Decerus alive. That being said, it might just be, the heal just might be enough to keep Packapal really healthy to push forward, and actually, the death sentence from Desilic? Is it enough? Packapal going low. There should be enough damage, especially with the teleport coming through from the top lane on the Aurelia. Berserk Loop and follow the bit of a miscommunication there. The ultimate from Aurelia not being able to hit the champion and spread out, but they still get the kill either way, going on to the mid laner of Ronxie, and given the situation, it's starting to look very, very Froze Bros favored.
Absolutely, that's just a rough play overall. So many things went wrong in that. You had Decarius flashing into the Thresh hook, not able to get the last hit on the Dalkus, letting Dalkus live and do more damage than you want for a little bit too long. It just a symphony of failures, a cacophony of failures. So many things went wrong in that situation. Ultimates used, missed time, not thrown out.
He actually just might have another fight here. That Tribush is pink warded, so maybe a bit unexpected for the side of Dom's Disciples, though it looks as if they're going to decide to go back now and not risk it.
Absolutely. It's already a 3k gold lead this early on, 9 minutes into the game. This game, it can change very quickly. Very quickly, It's one of those things, the gold lead. But if they keep up this ferocious pace that they're pushing, I don't see a way back in for Dom's Disciples. But, if they can find some way to slow it down, if they can go for the Herald, if they can get value onto their carries, and they can get those carries some kills, some shutdowns, then of course this game it could be blown wide open.
Actually, meanwhile, on the other side, Solar Flare used, but not quite expecting ZFC on this jungle path with the greatest, biggest snowball ever. We'll take the Lantern to escape, seeing that there's 4 in this bot lane. Not much more will come of that, but straight up to the top lane. I was going to send it over to you, but meanwhile, we're seeing how powerful Resolute is currently on this Aurelia over Para 04, and it's utter domination from this Aurelia.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the strength of Irelia, right? Like, you're an early game tank into a deceptively strong early game bruiser, right? It's, you know, it's just rough for this Scion. And with the Scuttle Crab mark again going onto the top scuttle, like, I don't see Pack-a-Paul getting these marks anytime soon. He only has one, and 1 at 10 minutes doesn't bode well for the rest of the game.
No, it doesn't. Usually, when we speak of marks of the Kindred that really start bringing them online, it's usually around 4. We just might have a fight around this dragon here. Teleport coming through onto this control ward, so it looks like Dom's disciples want to fight this. Para 04 already in this lane. They got positioning in on this dragon. No, it's not quite down yet. ZFC coming through. Ultimate popped. All of them use Lamb's Respite. Will keep Pack-a-Paul alive. Para can't quite find the invulnerability in time, and actually it just may have kept Resolute alive long enough. Maybe not, as he goes down on the Aurelia, but it just might be enough damage from the initial engage from Resolute to put all of Dom's disciples very low and cost him his life, but it's a very, very well won team fight for the side of Froze Bros.
You know, they got a few kills back and forth. They managed to shut down the Aurelia a little bit. You know, they got some kills onto the snowballing Nunu, but you know, the members who did get kills on the side of Froze Bros were the carries, right? They got the kill on Deluxe. They got the kill, some kills on Kaisa. These guys now can scale to the moon, and Lux, snowballing Lux is extremely scary. Just imagine if that minion had been a champion. You know, that's a dead champion every single time, right? Like, these Lux buffs have been a little bit too much, but you know, it's okay.
I'd say it's looking very bright for the side of Froze Bros with Lux popping off as she was. And I know Ronxi's going to be feeling very good about his current situation. And actually, the whole team of Froze Bros, really.
Yeah, absolutely. They all have a goal lead in their lane from, like, you know, 7-9 CS to a 30 CS lead and growing in the top side. It's kind of nuts, just the amount of domination they've put out in this early game, but it's really a test of a good team to see if they can, you know, carry that momentum forward into the rest of the game.
Forward, we're seeing another biggest snowball ever. Oh, the light binding lands, and Ronxi with the final spark, easily enough with his target locked down, just layers that damage all onto Glazemaster, and that Lux is now sitting at 4-1-4. It's woo, looking very good. Even looking better and better for the side of Froze Bros, as they will take this mid tier 1.
Absolutely, it's, you know, that's just good. Good ganking timing. Like, ZFC saw that he used his Q, the Cinder used her Q. Ooh, that was a lot of damage from just one launch. But he saw that he used his Q, so he knows that he doesn't have a stun to stop him from getting the snowball off. And again,
speaking of snowballs and ganks, straight up to this top side, he'll force a flash out of Para 04. And considering how this lane has been going for this tank in the top side, it's going to only feel worse at this point. And oh, look at it. Look, it's the freeze. Talk about Froze Bros. They're just talking about what their top lane is going to be looking like for the next few minutes with that with the team name. So I guess it's fairly apt of them to be in this situation.
He's just not letting him, you know, he's barely letting him get experience at this point. Just stepping up for CS is like, it's quite literally impossible. And now you're just pinging your jungler to, like, somehow come help me push this out so I can get the wave back to a manageable state. Because right now it's just really rough.
Mana's in, the solar flare stun comes down, though the stopwatch is still available for Dazik. heal was used from Dulcus, so perhaps a little bit of a miscommunication and not quite knowing that his Thresh did have the ability to go untargetable, or I guess go into stasis, really. And
It's a minor thing, right? Like it sucks
Yeah.
to lose both of those, but you know it's still a real. It's not that big of a loss, right? It does suck to lose them both because you use heal on a stasis target, and you use stasis when you could have just survived through heal. Um, like you said, just a little bit of miscommunicational errors and something that can get fixed up with some more games they play with each other as.
And meanwhile, we're going to take a short view up to this top lane again.
frozen.
Same exact story. That is still frozen. That CS lead now growing to 50 in favor of Bersalute in this top lane. And well, if it stays like this, it'll only continue to get wider and wider. Flame Horizon getting very close now. Actually, not even very close. I believe we may have reached it. I don't even know, where did that term come from? I'm not even the biggest fan of it. It's just one, like, can we know, can we get a history on the term? Actually, before we do that, Bersalute's doing so much damage on Tempara. No, Unstoppable Onslaught comes through. Lamb's Respite will keep him alive for just a bit longer. Bersalute will be taken low because of it, and it just will be enough for them both to walk away after that one.
A lot of ultimates used for a lot of nothing at all. Maybe the Aurelia could have gone back in, but you know, like he didn't have to. He was playing it safe, sitting pretty. He was already out, so he has no reason to go back in and potentially lose his life over any of that, right? So
Yeah, and another thing to note is that the Mark of the Kindred did go on, land on that top. Scuttle! The Flash Binding does so much damage. No Lamb's Respite here will be able to save anyone on the side of Dom's Disciples. And what an incredible proactive play from Ronxy on this Lux.
Yikes! That's all you can say, right? Like,
Yeah.
they were setting up the mid lane, they were setting up the push to get wave control and then rotate into the bot side, but with the side of Froze Bros appearing out of the darkness, is walking up and, you know, scaring them away from the Drake. They had to walk in the top side, but, you know, Ron saw an opportunity, he went in for the flash, he got the binding, and pop goes the Leona and Glaze Master, right? Like, both of those guys got popped, one just didn't drop in the end. So, you know, it's rough out here, you know, playing a squishy character into a Lux who just now built a Dark Seal, so she's just only going to get stronger from here.
Yeah, and with the sorcerer's shoes, or the Sorok boots, and actually, hold on, we have another fight before we talk about itemization. A lot of what would have been damage is landed, coming through. Dulcus finding the kill onto Glaze Master, and they can continue this fight on the side of Dom, not on Dom's Disciples. Well, I actually don't think Dom's Disciples will have a choice, as Paro 4 does go down, will lose his life, will run away, interestingly, despite being already dead. I mean, you might as well run at the enemy team when you've already lost your life on Sion. No more.
Save your undead life, you know.
True. Either way, it's only getting more and more Froze Bros favored as time goes on. We're only 18 minutes in, and it's looking like this one might already be over.
Yeah, like I think the biggest issue for the side of Froze Bros, besides obviously not throwing the game, is finding enough gold on the map to siphon into your carries. You got 3 pretty gold intensive champions on your team, and you want to keep shoveling gold into them, so it's just rough overall.
Speaking of, I don't think Packapal wants to be here. That's a lot of damage from Bersalute. Even through the exhaust, he'll land his ultimate. Zenith Blade will stop him for now. So that will be the Vanguard's edge to use, but I don't think that'll be. Oh, sorry, I hit my microphone there. I don't think that'll be too big of an issue, given just how much more money they have in their wallets here for Froze Bros.
Exactly, how much more money they have, and the fact that, you know, Vanguard's edge is it's a relatively short cooldown compared to the fact that they blew 2 flashes and an exhaust. Just for Vanguard's edge and, you know, a kill, right? So they won out on that, and that's something they can abuse later. You know, they can get this Herald, force it topside, and, you know, really put the pressure on this, you know, relatively squishy bot lane. Even though they are a strong duo, they don't have any gold right now. They don't have any defenses to stay safe. So it's rough if they do decide to rotate into the top side, which is it looks like what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, and This thing stand, it's not, it's yeah, it's very Froze Bros favorite. That being said, this bot Scott will get another mark of the Kindred onto Pack-a-Paul. If there's any sort of consolation that can take out of this, actually, never mind. I don't believe he'll look to contest that bot lane, even though, actually, I may have told a lie here, as the Rift Tail does get used in his top side. Baron is now live. So we reach the 20th minute, Ireland.
Go for the Baron. Game as quickly as possible. Just wait until the
Oh
no.
my god, the light binding lands unprotected onto the Misfortune. This might actually, maybe you don't even need Baron. Desolate getting low. That will be the lock of the Einslaw, keeping him alive there. Pack-a-Paul uses Lamb of Despot to keep himself alive, but for how much longer? Dalkus picks up the kill onto that jungler. Unstoppable Onslaught will just barely get Par 04 out of life, but that's a 2-0 team fight in favor of Froze Bros. And with their luck still really healthy. I mean, really, the only one who's low on health is Dazik right now. So I believe they're going to go for it. And I don't believe that. I really don't think there's much that Dom's Disciples can do here to really stop this.
There is anything they can do, and I think they know that very well. So they're going just to clear waves, try to push things up, try to get some vision, and prepare for the onslaught that is to come. Right? They opted for a gamble with this Kindred here, and so far the gamble hasn't paid out. Of course, it still can. You know, there's still an opportunity for them, but with them just now picking up the Baron and, you know, such an insane gold lead at the moment, I don't think there's too much of a chance for them to get back into this game, except off, you know, Miracle Macro and Miracle Micro.
Yeah, but on that note, we do have in the next 20 seconds Mountain Drake coming up. I haven't mentioned it yet. There is the Mountain Soul on Soul Point. So at 22 minutes, we just might see even more value going into the side of Froze Bros, but I believe we're gonna maybe want to try to fight here. Pack-a-Paul will be spotted by that Oracle Lens. Does a decent bit of damage. Now he's on his 4th mark, but with the 2 in the top lane, this just might be Mountain Soul going over to the side of Froze Bros.
Just gonna trade Mountain Soul for...
Actually, they just might continue to fight. As the hook lands onto Par 04, getting low. The unstoppable onslaught, I believe, was stopped there. Dalkus picking up the kill is godlike on that Kaisa. Pack-a-Paul already used the Lamb's Respite, does eventually go down to ZFC, and it is, is how I describe it.
It's a rough one to say the very, very least of it all, right? Like, Aurelia probably could have gotten a double and lost their own life, but you know, why do you want to do that when your team is pushing bot side so easily? You know, there's no reason to 50-50 anything at this point. They can just do whatever that they pretty well please, as long as, you know, it's a balance of the game and not cheating.
We don't necessarily condone that here. We don't condone getting caught, by the way. It's like cheating. It's not cheating unless you get caught. No, but in all seriousness, right now, I don't know if we would even really be able to detect it with just how much more money that Froze Bros has. Madison goes low. Madison finally going down. Desseros getting deleted. This really does eventually go down. Bejalut will have the shutdown go onto him, but at what cost? Roxy does come in, and that is another 800 gold shutdown. Not another 800 gold shutdown, it's an 800 gold shutdown going over onto that Kindred on Pack-a-Paul, who, I mean, hasn't had the best of times so far, and it's still very Froze Bros favorite, but that Kindred's slowly maybe starting to be a little bit of a concern, just a little bit. Just like you take out of a whole entire beach, you take like 2 grains of sand, and then like that's the concern. But it's still something.
You know, it's definitely something. They got a little bit too over-eager to end the game. I really, you know, diving way too deep with the exhaust on her, couldn't find a way out. Still had the flash up, but too much damage came through far too quickly. Same thing for Ron. Flashed in, lost his own life, and, you know, gave over 2 pretty big shutdowns to the carries of, you know, a few of the carries on the side of Dom's Disciples. But still, you know, like you said, it's really a drop in the bucket. It's great. It feels great to get those kills, but at the end of the day, you know, the super minions are still pushing on your base, still making it hard to breathe, and you still have to worry so much about the damage coming out from this Kaisa, coming out from this Lux, and you know, the Irelia now has a stopwatch and shield blow. I don't think you're gonna get that, you know, that kill that easily next time.
Yeah, and coming through in a few minutes. I mean, we have a few moments with the without any objectives on the map, but we just might find a fight here regardless. Side of Frozebro's looking to pressure, perhaps find the kill that they want to just end the game as quickly as possible. You know, with those supers coming in. But looking right now, currently, just a bit of posturing here.
Just a little bit of posturing, just a little bit of looking for angles to go for, and then you know, go
Actually,
with
they
it
just
on the
might
Nunu.
have found this angle. Manizin gets down to half health, going fairly low, but is it enough on the Vanguard's edge? Won't actually land. That's a massive cooldown wasted. Viper's the loot, and actually on the side of Frozebros, a lot of cooldowns not being amazing. Oh, Pack of Paul, you were just a few seconds late on that Lamb's Respite. Won't be able to keep Para alive, and so as things stand, a few abilities not quite coming through. The hook lands onto Desirus. One more going down. That's Pack of Paul also dead, with Manizin only left alive on this Leona. There's very little left for Dom's disciples to keep this game going, and even though it was a valiant effort from them in this final fight, there's just too much gold on the side of Frozebros for them to really do anything about it, and game one will go over to the red team on Frozebros. And since these are best of ones, Arlen, every game in these 3 game sets in this group stage is absolutely massive. So a really, really good early showing from Frozebros coming into the rest of this group stage today.
Yeah, it's really just a bit of it just sucks, you know. It sucks to be on the first, you know, your first loss of the day. But if they can turn it around, you know, if they can look at it and they can quickly evaluate what went wrong, you know, how they can play it better, how they can play around the team comp that they're given better, um, you know, they can come back, and they definitely can give us a different showing and actually come back and find their footing in this best of one scouting round series. But yeah, just the damage from the Lux, from the Kaisa, and from the Irelia just vastly outmatched the side of a Dom Disciple. And that's to be expected. You know, they got such a huge goal lead early off of the back of very good Nunu ganks, very good laning. You know, the Irelia, you know, like we said, she set up that freeze after the first kill, and from there was pretty much GG for Sion. He never
Yeah.
got the items or
Yeah.
back in the game.
Well, on that note, are going to send it to a break, but when we get back, we're going to go to a different game on the other side of these 2 groups. Team 3 will be playing me, myself, and Chad. So when we get back, we'll present to you that game. Oh, actually, no, we have analyst desk don't we? Break first. Yeah, when we get back, we'll be on the analyst desk, though. Before the draft. Yeah. Okay, we'll be back at the analyst desk before the pregame. Bit of a different sort of broadcasting schedule than what I've been on. So, you know, still getting used to it. But no, we'll be at the analyst desk after the break, then into game 2 between Team 3 and me, myself, and Chad. We'll see you then.
There's no time for redemption.
Yeah, I'm going to go refill my water and stuff, though. Oh, shit.
Those flags you wave, will they hold up? Don't cry for your vengeance. It's right there to take. Or if you want it, the world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your
tell me, where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. As I dive in, bloodstains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to keep you safe. As we fall, I can't hold on much longer. We're drifting down to the other side. Try to pull us
All right, hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Amateur Platinum Scouting Grounds today. We have just finished, well, I say just, it's been a little while, so we thank you for your patience, but game one is done. The Froze Bros came in hitting hard. That was quite the game, wasn't it, my friends?
Yeah, I mean, it was very clinical from Froze Bros overall. Not really too many mistakes in their game after that one. Thing they wanted to do, they executed. The gang said that CS difference in the top lane was pretty sizable.
Quite so. Thoughts on that one, though, Arlen, about how that first game went here today?
I mean, yeah, they came in, they made a statement, and they played exactly for their draft. You know, they drafted 2 winning lanes. They had a Nunu who was able to do whatever he wanted around the map. He came in, he ganked bot to flip bot lane away from potentially losing lane to a hard winning lane, right? And then from there, it was pretty much off to the races for their team. They made a few errors. You know, they died a few times, not things you want to see, but that one goes more to the side of Dom's disciples getting those kills even in a losing situation. Versus them making mistakes, but still, overall good game from Frozebos there.
Yeah, and we'll get to see them later on. No, is it later on today? I think we see them versus the Team Pineapple Pizza. We might be seeing them later on this.
I believe that's the case. I believe for game 3. So I mean, we don't really look onto that one. I would have to take a look at how these games go down for the second round robin, though, to see the ramifications of that match coming up. As this is as this group stage is a single round robin of best of ones. So before we get into did we address which match we're going into?
We are headed into game number 2. So this is going to be between Team 3 and me, myself, and Chad. So honestly, we are just about to get ready for draft. You are about to see, I would say, 2 of the greatest logos I have probably been handed. But yeah, we won't. I know we've been waiting for a while now, so we might as well send it on over to draft. You guys can take it away, and let's see what we're gonna get here for game number 2. If you guys are ready.
Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting on a few of the teams to confirm that they're both ready to start the draft. Still there's bit.
As soon as I see that ready check come up, I'm sending it straight on over to Caster Desk. Okay, that's one. Another one's probably coming soon. So, Casters, why don't you take it away for us here as we get into game number 2?
Yeah, we'll do just that. So, Team 3 versus me, myself, and Chad. We got Team 3 coached by Holy Carrot, and me, myself, and Chad being coached by Zonite. I actually have notes for this game because this was the one that was originally scheduled. So it feels really nice to be able to do that. But yeah. I don't know if you have like any notes taken for yourself or anything to look out from these teams coming in, or
notes are cool and all, but like, I like just looking at the ob.ggs as I get them and then making educated guesses from there. I'm looking at the op.ggs for each team as we speak, and each team has their own champions, their own unique style just from looking at these picks, right? Just from looking at their op.ggs, they have their own very unique style. Like on the side of what team is this? Me, myself, and Chad. That's a long name. I'm just gonna call it Chad. I like Chad.
Yeah, like Chad.
Yeah, Chad has a lot.
Getting a few of an issue with this first draft link, so we might take an extra few seconds to actually get the draft started here. But while we're going that, on the side of, I guess, MMC or just Chad, as it work is, me, myself, and Chad is quite a mouthful to say every time. But
they like it, and I'm super stoked to see what logo they picked. It's it's very fitting.
I'm seeing it now. That's glorious. That's absolutely amazing from both of them. Absolutely. But we're still waiting to get the confirmation that both teams are ready. So a bit of a delay. We're gonna have to stall this one a bit more. But just going down the list, I think maybe perhaps we might see Jace contested a bit, as both Cade we're gonna call him Cade. Cade Lube. Getting confirmed his name is Cade Lube, and both him and Peach both are fairly big fans of playing that Jace, at least in solo queue. So definitely one potentially contested pick. I know in terms of lane dominance, very strong one there.
Yeah, just quickly looking at the side of, you know, Chad, right? Just quickly looking at their OP.GGs, just looking at their champions, it looks like they are opting more towards a supporty mid style, and that leans heavily into the top side, because you know their top side plays so many of these 1v1 dominant champions, that those Ribbons, those Fioras, those Aurelias, right? Even the Jace as well, you know, which can be a solo carry. So they're going to be looking for more sort of supporty mid, and that's what they're banning out immediately on the side of Team 3. They're getting rid of the Karma that they like to pick. They're probably going to be looking to get rid of the TF, the Galio, get away from those global ultimates or those strong, you know, just supporty mid laners that you can opt into play.
You know, looking to spread that pressure into the side lanes with the likes of well, at least with Twisted Fate and Galio, both having semi-global ultimates, but instead we'll see Taric being banned out second on the side of Team 3, so maybe perhaps just targeting a few of the more common champions played from the support of Chad.
Yeah, that's definitely an option as well, right? And with Chad, you know, they're banning away the Lucian, the Graves, two disgustingly strong picks in the current meta. Just, you can do so much with them. If you pick both of those guys in blue side, your draft is still so open, so flexible. You have so many places that you can put each of those guys. It's really rough to play around that. So with getting them out of the way early on, you don't have to worry about that flexibility coming out later in the draft, and you don't have to worry about the player's expertise on those honestly busted champions, right? So yeah, with them getting away the Kindred as well, on the side of Team 3, getting rid of the Kindred, you know, they're just looking so they don't have, if they do draft, you know, a losing lane, they don't have to be punished as hard for it. You know, there's still champions that can still skirmish, that can still invade, but, you know, they've been nerfed by, you know, some of the recent Gordrinker nerfs and buffs and all that stuff. So, you know, we still may see a Xin Zhao or something come out, but it's going to be a lot rougher to pick them, a lot rougher to pick the J4, a lot rougher to pick the Olaf as well.
That note, that is Misfortune taken away as the final ban from the side of MMC, or I guess just MC is the abbreviation. And, you know, very powerful 80 carry pick. Now it's being taken away on the red side.
Absolutely, and it looks like they're gonna pick the Xin Zhao. So
thank goodness, I really don't like Yuumi. Like, not in terms of like, oh, it's weak or anything. It's just the champion irks me to no end.
Oh man, dude, Yuumi is just a champion. It exists.
Yeah.
She exists, and it's not fun usually if you're on the side of playing against the Yuumi. But still, you know, they pick the Xin Zhao, right? A strong champion. Now you want to get lane priority for him, right? You want to get that priority for him to do what he wants to do, and like we said, you know, Chad is going to opt into a losing matchup more than likely mid lane. They're going to first pick this Galio, right? And Galio has so many champions that he can go well into generally all champions just because he's a tank. But, you know, he has those few matchups that if they know them, he can get punished super, super hard, right? He can get hurt so badly by this first pick, blind pick Galio, that you just have to wonder, is it going to come back to bite them in the end? Because now they can opt for a winning matchup mid, and they can get the early priority for the Xin Zhao, and then that Xin Zhao can run away with the game so quickly that even the Galio ultimate's not going to really do too much. He gives a magic damage shield. Xin Zhao does AD. It's going to be rough. So depending on what they pick with this could be, they might run away with this draft here.
Well, as Xayah is locked in, it's looking like T3 is going to be looking to take away Rakan, so MC won't be able to have, you know, the two lovebirds coming through as they are going to hover Singed. I don't think that'll be coming through as Jace, much of an arcane themed hovers and picks coming through, but it's Leona. I was going to actually address, well, it kind of takes away the point that I was going to first mention, that it was maybe a Galio could have been flexed into the support role and, you know, get the matchup that way, but with Leona getting locked in, I really very much doubt that.
Yeah, I guess they just like the Leona Rakan, you know, matchup. I don't think it's that good overall for the Leona. Like, if she goes in, she gets knocked up. She can't really stop the Rakan knock up. She can kind of stun him, you know, as he comes in. Maybe But still, it's really rough if he doesn't go in a hurry. You know, he has a charm immediately on himself. I don't even think she gets the opportunity to get that stun off, right? So by them picking the Rakan Xin Zhao there, you have so much pressure. All the Rakan needs is boots, all the Xin Zhao needs is level 6, and they can start running this game so quickly, so early on, and they can push the tempo, push the value onto their carries that they need to get, especially with the Jace in the top lane. So few champions are going to beat him up there. You know, maybe a Gangplank to go even with him, you know, because Gangplank can just sit on the turret with the barrels, you know, stuff like that. You know, they still have options to draft into this Jace, but if the Jace is well versed in those matchups, he doesn't have to worry about dropping too heavily, too early on, right? You know, they could opt into the Irelia here. They are in need of AP and still a little bit more AD here, so maybe an AP top winner.
Yeah, and looking with who was banned out. I mean, 2 junglers coming out from the side of Team 3, while MC have elected to get rid of the Orianna and Malzahar, so putting some respect into that mid lane. And as you were saying, Gangplank does get locked in answer to this Jace.
Exactly what I what I thought was gonna come out. You know, it's just such a safe pick into Jace. Like, if you don't know what else to play, just pick the Galio, right? Or sorry, pick the Gangplank, right? You can sit there, you can farm just as well, and you can still affect the map even better than the Jace can. The issue comes though, if they decide to send the Rakans out top, then the Gangplank, you know, he's gonna find himself on the end of a pretty rough dive, right? Like he can only cleanse so much, and you can't cleanse a knockup, right? Which they bring 2 of. They bring the Rakan knockup, they bring the Xin Zhao knockup, they even bring Xin Zhao's ultimate, which can knock back. So this Gangplank is going to be in for a rough time if this Xin Zhao Rakan engine gets going, right? So they're going to round out their composition with...
Yeah, hold on. Okay. With Set, we had quite a few hovers, a few interesting ones. Perhaps maybe I saw the Lily hovers like, oh wait, is this actually Jace mid kind of like sort of thing? But no, Set will be locked in. Actually, Set's locked in. Actually, no, it still might be Jace mid.
I think it is Jace mid. So their composition is lacking. Well, not lacking really anything. They have, you know, maybe the beef that they're lacking, their tankiness. But yeah, I think Jace mid is the tech into the Galio. You know, Zet can also go into the Galio and kind of, he can bruise him up really badly. Both of these champs are going to win in the Galio. Set's more than likely going to lose in the Gangplank, but Jace can win into the Gangplank. So we still might see Jace Gangplank top. Still, either way though, like these, it's such a heavy draft to favor the side of Team 3. That this Xin Zhao wants to get up in this Nocturne's face, wants to skirmish, and this Nocturne really needs those items to farm, to get online, to get to that skirmishing point. And he won't have a Rakan running around the map to help him. He has a Leona who more than likely wants to sit in lane and try to do something to the Ziggs on repeat. That is the saving grace of their team comp, I think, is that they can do something to the Ziggs with the Galio, with the Leona, with the Xayah, but they need to survive to the point to do something about that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Nocturne. Well, I mean, once he does get his ultimate, that paranoia. I mean, if there was ever an ability that has been so aptly named in this entire game, I mean, it's Nocturne's ultimate of it being called paranoia, because whenever the lights go out, it's just like, where are they?
Where are we? And I mean, it's it's hard to do anything else but run around paranoid that something's gonna come out of the dark and beat you up.
Yeah, 3 autos and woo.
Yeah, a lot of damage. Especially if it takes lethal tempo. Oh, that's scary.
This is very, very scary. But on that note, I believe that is the draft. I believe we've covered all the bases of this draft. So while we get into the spectator delay, it might actually be a little bit longer of a break, as Itchy Rat on the side of Team 3 did report he is going to take a bathroom break before they actually get into the client draft. So it'll be a little bit longer than when you may be used to, but when we do come back, we will be in for Game 2 of this Platinum Scouting Grounds group stage between Team 3 and me, myself, and Chad. We'll see you then.